Hey, this is Mo Lunsford at Union Grove Lumber Studios.
And this is the Shed Geek. We want to welcome you to today's episode.
All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Shed Geek podcast. Friday Fun Day, Ambassador version, the best one out there. That's the one you want to get. They're all pretty good, but I'm honored to be here today with somebody that I've been working on for a little while. I pulled him in almost kicking and screaming, but he's calmed down quite a bit, so I think we'll be all right. Cliff Knepp from Southern Indiana, Knepp Trucking. How are you today, man?
Good. Yes, I'm Cliff Knapp, located in Southern Indiana, and shed hauler, I guess. So,
yeah, I think you're a little more than just a shed hauler. It's you seem to have a fleet. Well, if you're a shed hauler, and we could use the term that birds of a feather flock together, I guess that might be true because it seems like you have quite a few guys that are following you around up there.
There's a few of them. There's a few.
How many you got right now?
How many what?
How many rigs you running right now?
We're running 6 of them on sheds. Running 6 rigs on sheds, and then I've got 8 rigs total. I've got
so you have 2 running. Oh, please don't tell me you're going to tell me you're running general freight.
Yeah, that was stuff that pays a lot, That general freight, that high dollar stuff. No, it ain't $1 anymore.
That's true.
I do have one truck running over the road. He does run a flatbed, and then I've got one truck running a dump trailer. And then
really?
in the wintertime, we do pull some of the trucks off the sheds and run dump trailers with those as well if we need to keep it going. So.
Yeah. Are you running like end dumps or bottom dumps, or what are you doing?
It's end dumps, like the half-round dump trailers.
Yep.
Yeah.
Local stuff. How far out do those guys go?
They're home every night. They'll run. A lot of it is lime, fertilizer, feed meal, bean meal, even a little bit of beans and corn. And then there's also a drywall plant located just about 50 miles from here. And we haul a lot of gyp in there to make drywall. So it's like a lime.
Nice.
Yep. Like a lime substance. It would look a lot like lime that you haul in the field, but it's used in the drywall. That's what it is. So.
I got you. So at what point do you decide you're going too far from home? Like just as long as I get home every night, pretty much you're good with that? Or do you consider yourself regional or local?
I would be considered local overall. The over-the-road guy, he gets out. I mean, he has went as far as California, but he doesn't. And we try to get him home every weekend for sure. And a lot of times he's home by Thursday, Friday, something like that. So, but yeah, he's the only one that stays out much overnight. We got a local shed company here that started hauling for, and those guys, they build storage units, and we run them quite a ways sometimes. Actually, the driver just come back from New York on that. So we will do a 2-3 day, even 4-day run if that's what it takes. So
yeah, I was going to bring that up. The fact that I know that not all your sheds are local either. Like you've done some runs pretty far out on some of your shed stuff too.
We have, yes. Yeah, we're starting to get into that a little bit more. I had kind of a hard time getting some drivers interested in doing those long hauls, but they with the one guy now, Joe Miller, he likes the long hauls, and he started doing quite a few of those now. So
nice. You had some runs coming down even into like South Carolina, North Carolina, or Tennessee. Where were you bringing those little guys down to?
Last year about this time we had I think it was 80 some units that was going down to North Carolina area. It was the Charlotte area. They was coming down in there, and anyway, they was going to trailer parks. So every trailer park had one little storage barn, so had to set them all up along each trailer. Every trailer got one, just went down the road. So
that's a pretty good sale right there.
Yeah.
I'd get to where I had a niche in a certain trailer park. I'd sell one to one guy, and his neighbor would buy one, and then his neighbor would buy one. And I always said, man, I ought to find the guy that runs the whole trailer park and get them all in here because, and you know what? It's kind of interesting. Most of those are smaller storage sheds. not too many of those get turned into, all the other nightmares and stuff we see, big cabins, people living in them and stuff. Most of those are what we actually do, storage.
That's right. Yeah, these was just little 8x10s is what they was, and boy, they was light, cheap built. I mean, they was just a metal frame, and it done a good job though for storage for lawnmowers or whatever.
Yeah, that's cool.
So,
So most of us, on the hauler page, most of us guys, we either haul for one main company or we might have 2 or 3 companies. Is that pretty much how you find yourself, or you seem to be a little more scattered all over? Like you don't have any certain company you haul for. Maybe you do.
yeah, actually we do. I'm actually Mervyn Miller. I actually haul through the same company that Mervyn Miller hauls for, to be honest with you. But they're called a different division up here. They're called Prairie Built Barns. That's still owned by the same guy that Mervyn hauls for. And I actually discussed with him one time. It's kind of interesting that we haul for the same company in 2 different locations back. But yeah,
that's cool.
Same deal. But that is actually my main company I haul for is Prairie Built Barns.
Okay, so you do have a main gig that you kind of go by. They're built there right local. How far do you have to go to get them?
They're built about 45 minutes from the home base here. And that's where the main shop is. And yeah, they build quite a few of them out of there. I mean, as a whole, we actually do keep 5 to 6 trucks busy most of the summer out of there. That is the main shop I pull out of.
And
I just have a lot of a local. So we have a local Amish shop I used to haul for. And that's when I started hauling. I started with him. And he's just 5 minutes down the road from my house here. But anyway, that's kind of where I got started. And then I got hooked up with this multi-state company, I guess you'd call, and started hauling for him. And that seemed to grow the company to where we are today. So.
And that would be picking up sheds at the plant, taking them to lots, doing customer deliveries.
That's right. Yeah, we do all home deliveries. We do all the home deliveries, do all the repos for them. Basically, every shed or every sale that produces out of that shop, their dealer complex, I guess, we would haul the sheds out of that shop.
I got you.
And
how big an area does that cover?
Our furthest lot would be close to where there's times where when we get done, we're like 5 hours from home. So you're probably looking at about 250 miles from the shop. Okay. So
you get down into Kentucky at all?
We don't a whole lot. We run Illinois quite a bit. We do get down in Kentucky some, but we mainly haul. We do go over in Ohio a little bit as well. So it's basically southern Indiana, southern Ohio, and then pretty much all over Illinois. But our mainstay would be Illinois.
Your main state is Illinois. See there, I didn't know that. I had no idea you did a lot. I knew you went over there some because I see your trucks get caught, yawn here, over there every once in a while. So I knew you were over there a little bit, but that's so basically you go up above Indianapolis a little bit. Is that considered southern part of the state?
Indianapolis, we do have one lot that is just north of Indianapolis a little bit, but that's actually pretty much a line in Indiana, is Indianapolis. That's kind of where the dividing line is. And then there's another shop located up in Fort Wayne for the same company, and they actually cover the northern part.
Okay. So, I got you.
They run a lot of Idaho and over in there, and that's the reason we go west. So. Okay, and now that would be you would know him, Sam. That's Amos Loneker, Alvin Loneker. That's those guys up there, the Loneker guys.
Yep. So that's right. Their shop is a Prairie Built shop.
That's right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Cutting out a little bit there. Hopefully you'll come back and find yourself here in a minute. So I was going to ask you about Southern Indiana. For those that don't know Southern Indiana, you're talking about hauling, dump, end dump and stuff like that. You're in a very much different part of the country, or demographically different than what I'm in. You still actually have a lot of farmland there. You have a lot of country. You got some good hunting there. It's a little more what's the word? Rural, I guess is the word I'm looking for.
That is right. Yeah, we have a lot of hills. Now we get into the northern part of the state, it's just a flat plains out there. Down here in southern Indiana, we have a lot of rolling hills. Actually, in the far south, we get into pretty good, what you call, not mountains, but they get some interesting barn sets. You know, where one side's on the ground, the other side's about 4 foot in the air.
Yep, especially when you get around the river. Yep.
That's right. That's right. We do have a lot of farmland, cropland right in this area. A fairly rich soil. Yeah, it's a beautiful country.
Yeah, so you're actually in a part of in a area that I'm very familiar with. Back before I got married and moved to the deep south, I lived in Kentucky, and we used to go up and spend quite a bit of time in Davis County. I had a lot of friends up there, youth friends, kids we hung out with and stuff, and knew a lot of the people up there. And then, as you know, later on in life, my dad actually got married to a widow lady from up there. And you even know some of my step family and stuff in that area. So, yeah, very familiar with that area. It is interesting that you guys, you don't just deliver like around here. We pretty much everything we deliver around here is in the side of a mountain. We're in the foothills. Everything's rolling. There is a couple lots that would be south of here that get more into the sandy flatland, but it's still pretty rolling. But southern Indiana, one of the things that intrigues me about it, and southern Ohio too, is the closer you get to the river, the more rolling country. Even, I mean, it's almost mountainous area around there.
Yeah, I mean, there's times you think you're in the mountains if you don't really know what the real mountains are.
Yeah. Well, it's more like canyons.
It's not like the Rockies or like that. That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Yep. So let's get back to where does we lost him. Is he gonna come back? It's crazy. You take just like podcasting, if you would have thought about that 10 years ago, that we'll be driving down the road and watching or listening to podcasts, talking about sheds or whatever, it'd be like, what? You can't do that. And 10 years before that, selling a shed online or whatever. Nah, you'll never sell sheds online. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah.
We were talking about it at lunch today. It's amazing the technology that has came and showed up. What we've got to see in the last 25 years. I feel like I live in a time where there's not another 25-year period where you get to see as much change as what we've seen.
Yeah, it has been.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean. It has been amazing in the last 10 years what's changed, really. But yeah, you talk about online sales. The one dealer we have, she says she sells, I think it's 90% of her sales are online. Said she never sees customers. So it's I had an interesting set the other day. I pulled up to a guy's house and he looked at me and his jaws fell open. He was like, wow. He said, that barn's built already? He said, I thought it was going to come as a kit.
Oh, no. He thought he was going to have to put his shed together.
That's right.
That's pretty good.
Together, so.
That's that's one of the cool things. Well, you talk about technology. We wouldn't know each other if it wouldn't be for Facebook.
That's right. Probably not.
I'd probably be in and out of Indiana a couple times since then already and see some of my buddies, my step family and stuff. And what Facebook has done, social media has done to draw us together as an industry and as a group is crazy. It's like, you talk about, she sells 90% online. I know guys out in Texas that, you drive 30 minutes from anywhere and you get on this road that has 4 houses and 3 shed manufacturers. They sell everything online. They sell a lot of sheds. And I tell them every time I'm down there, man, you guys need to put lots in. Just think how much more you'd sell because, in my opinion, you should have all of it, not just 1 or 2 of them.
That's right.
How long you been hauling? How long you been doing sheds?
What was that?
You heard that too? Sam, what was that?
Oh, that wasn't supposed to come out.
What
Well,
is
what
it,
was it?
Sam?
I was given some confidential information. Not sure what I'm supposed to do now that you heard that, though.
Well, what was it?
Sam, you got to tell us.
Well, you can't tell anyone. But the Cardinal engineers, the mule guys, have been at it again. They heard all the haulers belly aching about a bigger machine. You know how they're always fussing about it ain't big enough? Well,
Oh,
guess
yeah.
what? They've got a bigger mule, a lot
What?
bigger. How about a mule with a 70 horsepower diesel engine that's built to move 40,000 pound sheds? You ought to see it. It's a real beast of a mule, and it's up to any shed challenge.
No
Right.
way, Sam. A diesel donkey like you had? I mean, that's
Yeah.
fantastic.
That's
Yep, the
great.
diesel donkey like I used to have. Hey, there's a lot more stuff coming, but I've said enough. I'll get in trouble soon if I say any more. Just come to the shed show and see it all at booth 217.
I started back in 2006. Started with a one-ton dually truck pickup, and had a little flatbed trailer. It wasn't even a shed trailer, actually. It was just one that had like a dovetail out the back, a flatbed trailer with a dovetail.
Mhm.
And we'd slide our sheds up on there, and we first of all we jack them up with handyman jacks,
Yes.
back that dovetail underneath there, and then we'd do whatever it took. We had a winch on it, so we took the winch up to it. We jacked the back up or push it with a skid loader or whatever we had to do to get her up there. Then we got her rolled on there, got her tied down. Then we get there and we back up as close as we could, and get her angled in there, and then have to use a handyman jack to set it back down.
And
One thing,
if
I
you're
always have a guy with me, and one good thing, it's amazing how much you can do with about a 10-foot steel pipe.
yes.
We get the shed unloaded, and it was at an angle or something, and you could put that steel pipe up against the back of your trailer and back up, and you could just twist that shed, whatever you needed to do to get it where you needed it. So
And if you had to, you put the pipe under it, rolled the building around wherever you had to go.
that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell my
Yeah.
guys
It's
they're spoiled with the track machines and everything else nowadays.
now we got so much stuff we got to work twice as hard to pay for.
That's right. That's right. A lot more overhead that way too. So
What's your worst? Do you have a worst, like, so if somebody asks me what's your worst experience in delivering a shed, I have a half a dozen things that pop right up in my mind. You have any of those? Like the ones that you're like, oh man, I hope we never do that again.
well, I'm not sure what to say. I had one not too long ago actually. Took a shed all the way down for a local guy. Hauled one all the way down to Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I was down in the mountains down there, in the real mountains,
Wow.
not just the rolling hills.
No, you're in this. Yeah.
Got her down in there, and well, first of all, I had a driver haul it down there, and he thought the guy that bought the shed thought that he could just back her right up there with his semi, and it wouldn't be no problem at all. Well, he got down there, and there's this little, I don't know, probably 8 foot wide mountain road that angled up and went around the curve, and there was a tree, a mountainside on one side. It was just leveled off, over the dozer and made the trail. And so the mountain's going up on one side. There's a tree right here on the drop off on the other side, and it's not wide enough for the shed to go through. And the driver said, "You got to cut the tree down before we get up there." So he had to get a timber jack in to do that. So we dropped the shed there, and then how was it? We went back a week later. Me and another driver did, with 2 mules. He had a mule in each hand, and finagled that thing up in there. And then he wanted on a platform that was still about 5 foot off the ground, right on the side of the mountain here. So he had built this wooden ramp going up the
Oh
platform.
no.
We got this thing started. I got some pictures of it. It's pretty interesting, but we got this thing started up that platform with dolly wheels. And about that time, the platform gave away, and it went like that right there. We thought for a while we was going to have her at the bottom of the mountain.
Oh my word.
We sweated through that one for a while, but we got her done. That was just one of them I can think of. We've had a lot of them, but we did get her up on there with some pipe help and whatever we had to do to get up there. We reinforced the ramp, had to put some blocking under the ramp to make it stronger.
To make it, to where you could. So you actually drove one of your mules up the ramp?
No, what we done is we put dolly wheels on we had two mules there that day, but we put dolly wheels on the front side and we just pushed it up the ramp is what we did.
Oh, so the
So just
dolly
the
wheels
dolly
were like
wheels is
running up
what-
the ramp. I got
Yeah,
you.
just the
That makes
dolly
sense.
wheels.
Yeah.
But it was
So-
a finished out, he's going to rent it out as an Airbnb. It was a finished out cabin. I think size is maybe 14 by 32, I think is what it was. Completely finished out, had a bathroom, everything in it. So,
Oh my word.
yeah,
That
it
was my
a-
next question was how big a building was it? But that's 14 by 32 going up side of a hill. That's a big building. I don't care what anybody says.
it's a big building, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Those
good.
Texas boys, they'll tell you, oh, it ain't big till it's an 18 by 60 or something like that. And I'm like, well, send me some pictures where you go up up the side of a mountain with a freshly cut bulldozer pad. And we always kid around on the hauler page that pictures never do it justice, which they don't. I don't,
That's
you,
right.
know, you just can't get it. If you get me those pictures, we can actually throw them in here. Shannon will make to where people can see those, and it's kind of cool. Goes with your story.
Okay.
So it's always kind of neat to have that in there. Were you at the Tennessee Bash?
The one, you mean the original one in 19?
Yeah, the Belvedere one.
Yep, I sure was. I was down there.
Yeah,
Yep.
I was going to say, I think that's where I kind of first met you. But it seemed like the Pennsylvania, and it sounds like I'm going on a rabbit trail, but I'm actually going somewhere with this. It seems like the Pennsylvania one is kind of the one that got y'all bought into the idea that, you know what, doing barbecues, getting together, hanging out is a really good thing to do because you went and started one.
Yeah, that is exactly right. And yeah, that is exactly where we got the, how would you say it, the enlightening to do something like that. We had a good time at the Pennsylvania. I had a good time at the Tennessee as well at the first one. I thought that was really fun. And we had a good time at Pennsylvania. And one time we got to thinking that, and maybe we should have one in the Midwest. Wonder if you all be interested. So went ahead and put it on Facebook just to see what kind of interest I would get. And man, I tell you what, we got a lot of interest all at once. So everybody's like, yeah, that sounds like fun.
Yeah.
So
it did. And you had great results your first time around too.
That's right. Yeah, we had a good time.
So we're going to make sure we get some of these episodes get backed up a little bit, but we're going to make sure we get this episode out before yours. You're the first Saturday in September this year. Is that what you're doing?
No, it's actually going to be, I think it's the third Saturday, to be honest
with
you.
Oh, is it really? Maybe
September 14th.
I think I have the wrong date. That is interesting.
It's either second or third Saturday. I'm not looking at a calendar right now, but
yeah, it'd be the second Saturday.
Second Saturday, okay, yeah. September 14th.
You know what? That's what I got in my calendar. I just told Deanna wrong. I told her it's the first Saturday, so we actually have an extra week to get this worked in.
There you go.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. You guys showed up in Pennsylvania, man. You guys showed up and showed out. You had all the fancy rigs out front. Were you picking up some? No, you brought WKM's trailers in, didn't you?
That's right. Yeah, I had actually bought those was actually mine. I bought two of them that year, that spring. We was kind of in a growing spurt right then, and so I bought two new ones, and then they wanted to use those two. We kind of made sure it came out that they was finished over that time, right over there. I think it was March, maybe when that was.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, and then we just pulled those out there to use as their demo trailers. So,
yeah. Okay. Yeah. So they were your trailers.
They were my trailers. Yeah, and I still have those trailers today. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you're still running those.
That's right. Yep.
Okay. Very good. So so you go back home and you're like, hey, let's throw one of these together, get good results from it. Do you remember what the turnout was on the first one?
I think we would have had around. I was trying to think. I think we had around 35 rigs, something like that, and maybe 175 to 200 people there on the very first one. So yeah, nothing like the big bass, but we still had a lot of fun. So
yeah, you do. Is this the third one or the fourth one?
This is the fourth one. We're getting ready for the fourth annual.
Goodness, that is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing how time flies, right?
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, you would have had one in 21, 22, 23, and now 24. So yes, that's right.
That's right. Yeah.
What are you expecting this year? What is it looking like?
We're hoping for a big turnout. Yeah, like I said, it's September 14th of this year, and it's going to be at the same place again, the Simon J. Graver Complex building. It's a big building, got concrete out front, nice place to park the rigs. And we're looking, well, last year I think we had in the 40s, like 45, 48 rigs, something like that. So, and around 250 people. So I'm hoping to top that this year. So we,
Should hit
we try
50.
to make it, we try to make it a little more enticing to bring a rig. We always have a grand prize, and you can't buy raffle tickets for the grand prize. It's only if you bring a complete shed rig that you get a grand prize, get entered in the grand prize drawing. We gave away a fishing trip one year. Last year we gave away a grill, and this year we're giving away a 22-250 high-powered rifle, and it's going to be a special edition. So there's going to be, we may post pictures of it here in a little bit, but it's definitely one you won't want to miss.
That is awesome. I'm gonna have to find somebody's rig to steal to bring up there, or else find a local guy up there that I can get his.
Just find a shed to hook to Betsy and bring her along. That'll work.
Yeah, I heard that. Yeah. Good food.
Yeah, we're going to have some barbecue, pulled pork barbecue, and we always get the banquet meal catered in. Should have cheesy ranch potatoes go with that, and all the fixings. So,
Want to give a shout out? Want to give a shout out to any of your sponsors? Everybody coming back that's normally on.
Yeah, we sure can do that. We actually had posted just this morning. I posted the flyer and all the events, and I've got a lot of attention even today about people wanting to help out with the sponsorship. So we really appreciate everybody that helps out and makes it possible, I should say.
Yeah.
But one big one I'd really like to shout out to is Cardinal Leasing. Jonathan Miller. He has stepped up to the plate from very first one. He has taken over the banquet meal. And he has taken care of the banquet meal for us every year. And he just reached out to me this morning and said, "Put me down for the banquet meal again." So, big shout out to him for doing that, taking care of the banquet.
Yep, they don't come any better than him. He's a good dude. He's good to have around.
Jonathan's hard to beat. He sure is. And then there's a lot of other good ones as well. Cardinal, of course, is going to do the mule competitions. We're going to have three levels. We're going to have first place, second place, and third place, and they're going to do those and sponsor those. And then they also sponsor the building for us, which is the big complex there.
Okay.
And that's a big sponsorship as well for us. And then WKM, I buy all my trailers from WKM. Not a Pine Hill guy, so. But I don't mind Pine Hill, but we are about 3 hours from WKM, 2.5 to 3, and they have always treated me very well. Norman is just can't get much better than Norman. So when it comes to service or whatever, so they have always stepped up to the plate. They sponsor the truck competitions, and we also have first, second, third place on that. And we're going to do that same this year, and they sponsor that as well. So, and they usually have a trailer there and everything. For vendor setup. So,
WKM has always been on board. They're great guys, always willing to help. I always like to see the trash talking that happens between the WKM and the Pine Hill guys, and then the Myers boys show up. And they all want to flex their muscles, and I can post pictures of all of them being broke.
That's right. That's right. That's what I've always said before. Anything that's man-made, it's going to break sometime when you're all in chins with it.
Especially if you let a shed hauler get a hold of it. It's just a given. They're going, it's actually a huge testament and a shout out to Cardinal and their mules, the stuff that we put those things through. You and I started when we didn't have those things. We had to, and we didn't have nice trailers. In fact, I never day-to-day ran a nice trailer. When I started buying nice trailers and mules, I was doing it for my drivers. I never had it for me. I got to where, I wasn't scared to do anything anybody did with a mule, but on average, you just give me a good old little flatbed roller trailer, and I was happy as, anybody.
Yeah.
But
I tell you what, Before the days of mules, the shorter the trailer, it was the best way to go, really. I mean, it was amazing. Like I said, I ran probably close to 2 years with just a trailer. And then I started then I went to Mule 3. That was the first mule I had. And boy, that thing
So
was
you
a
had a
bucket.
Mule 3.
I had a Mule 3. You talk about a bucky
Oh
Bronco. It's
my
like riding
goodness.
bulls for a while.
Could you
So,
do like Keith and ride that thing without a building on it?
no, I never did master that. I tried it a time or two, but I never did master all it. But boy, you get that thing. I remember you'd get a building on it and jump on that little platform that was just a wee little platform, barely big enough to stand on. And you get in a little bit on level ground, start turning, and that sucker start bouncing like this. And man, it felt like he was on a bull. So,
Oh my word.
but yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, it was a lot. Then I went to Mule 4, and now we're running. Actually, we got all Mule 6s now. So yeah, we all went to all track machines now. So
Okay, so you're running all track machines. You don't have any wheel machines.
do not have any wheel machines at this point anymore. Nope. Now the
Nice.
drivers, I don't think they'd let me go back to a wheel machine anymore. They probably
I
quit.
heard that.
Unlock the power of productivity with Cardinal Leasing. Are you looking to elevate your business operations with top-tier equipment? Look no further than Cardinal Leasing. We offer a wide range of reliable and high-quality equipment tailored to meet your unique needs. Flexible leasing options. Whether you need short-term rentals or long-term solutions, our customizable leasing plans are designed to provide maximum flexibility and affordability. Conventional financing available. Cardinal Leasing also offers great conventional finance options for those of you that prefer that over-lease purchase options. Expert support. Our team of experienced professionals is here to guide you every step of the way, ensuring a seamless leasing experience. Boost efficiency. With our top-of-the-line equipment, you can enhance productivity, reduce downtime, and achieve your business goals faster. Why choose Cardinal Leasing? Competitive rates, exceptional customer service, hassle-free process, quick and easy approvals. Don't let outdated equipment hold you back. Partner with Cardinal Leasing today and take your business to the next level. Contact us now. Visit our website at equipment.cardinalleasing.us or call us at 618-803-4086 to get started.
So let's talk a little bit about business side. You've done very well in seeming to keep your head together, grow smart. I know you rotate some trucks in and out because I see them come up for sale and I see them go elsewhere. So Merv Miller, he rotates trailers like nobody I've ever seen. I don't understand how he does it. Your trailers seem to hang around a little bit longer, and you said a little bit ago you still have those trailers that you got 4 years ago, and Merv be like, man, please, it's time for new trailers, And listen, Merv is highly successful. What he does works for him. It doesn't work that way for everybody. Give us some thoughts on what good business looks like to you. What makes you tick? What makes you work as a business guy?
Well, I don't know. You might have me on this one, but sometimes it just goes with the flow, But no, one thing I've figured out is, and I know it's been said on here before, but is the growing too quick. Going out there and spending all your money,
Yep.
Getting big fast. I mean, it looks good, feels good at the time, but unless you got a lot of work to back it up, that it takes a lot of work to back it up a lot of times. But no, a lot of times, I mean, I used to try to trade about every 3 to 4 years, trade trailers. I don't do that quite as much anymore. I do have a 2018 model yet that I'm running, but that is my oldest one. Then the next oldest is those 21 models that I got that was out at the PA Bash. I don't know. With the high cost, I figured out that it's almost better to hang on to it for a while, do a little more repairs to them. That was my get for it. But I mean, there's a lot of what works for some people doesn't work for others, so. But I
Yes.
like to hang on to them for a while. And even if they need a new paint job, make them look better, sometimes I give them fresh paint jobs. So
Yeah. How much do you credit good drivers to?
that makes a huge difference. I've always said the driver can make it or break it. And that is exactly right. They can, that makes a big difference on how they take care of it. And maintenance is a real big key as well. You got to get out there, you got to keep your wheel bearings up, you got to keep your trailer slides greased. Just maintenance is a big key. We usually, every time the trucks go in for a service, everything gets going through, check the wheel bearings, check everything on the trailers, pretty much every, and that's about every 10 to 12,000 miles is what we run on that. So
Yeah, that's I watch a lot of guys in this industry, and we've got some good ones coming along right now they're doing it right. They're doing it slower. They're not spending all their money all the time on, upgrading or adding other rigs whenever that somebody offers them a couple sheds or whatever. I honestly feel like we're almost getting down to where we could put a list together of what can make you and break you in hauling sheds. And at the top of there, I would put, don't grow too fast. Your people can make or break you, and you have to keep up with your equipment.
that's
It
exactly right.
it is amazing to me. So I like to sneak off during the barbecues and the bashes. I like to sneak off and walk around people's rigs. It's in fact, I tell the judges when we do the judging contest with judges, I tell them, I said, more important, listen, I love chrome, I love lights, I love shiny rigs. But I like to look and see if I can find where the guy takes pride in areas that we don't normally look at. And I see that. I see that on Merv's rigs. I see it on your rigs. Paul Stalnaker, I look at his rigs, the way they're kept up. Vargas, puts his guys in really nice rigs. And I'm telling you, you're not going to beat that little Detweiler kid on anybody for keeping a rig cleaned up. I mean, Nate Detweiler is probably at the top of my food chain when it comes to guys that take respect and pride in their ride. And obviously he's been there a long time. It's something adds up, it makes a difference. What would you tell somebody that was looking, let's say they come, okay, so right off the get-go, we see these guys show up on the page all the time, hey, I want to get in the hole, man, this looks like a blast, we're going to have fun. And first thing I ask them is, who you going to haul for? Oh, I don't know. Well, okay, end of story. But let's say we find somebody, and let's say they come in, they're like, hey, look, I found this company, Prairie Built. They're putting a big plan in over here and so. And, they're offering me, 300 sheds the first year. What do you tell a new guy? And let's say he's in trucking. Let's say he understands trucking, at least because if you don't even understand that part, man, I'm just hanging my head. But let's say he understands trucking a little bit. What are we going to tell a new guy that comes in and says, hey, I think I can do this. I'm, fairly smart guy. I've been running trucks. What do you tell them?
Well, I don't know. I will say that the shed industry and the shed hauling is completely different than general freight. There's not even there's a connection because you're talking trucks, but there's just the way to go about it. I mean, there's a lot of points you've got to cross hauling sheds. You've got to have a driver that, first off, he's got to be polite to the customer. We've all get over those customers. You get out there. I just had one the other day. He wanted the barn one block high, and I told him, I said, when we get to the other end, that barn's going to be 2 8-inch blocks high. I said, I think you need to leave that one down. He said, no, go for it. So I put those blocks under there. Get done. Well, of course, it's 16, 18 inches off the ground on the other end, and he said, man, I don't like that. I said, no, I don't think you will. You need to take that back off. But it's all working with them. If you don't work with the customer, he's not going to work with you. A driver's got to be polite, but still they have got to be, how would you say it? They got to be creative, because you got to be able to get in this tight hole and do what you got to do, you know. So I think, I mean, the new shed hauler, what to tell him, first of all, he's got to be polite to the customer. He's got to keep his rig up. He's got to know how to drive a mule. That's a big plus. And you can learn that with experience. I mean, not everybody's going to know right offhand, but
Yep.
But yeah, it's not just close the trailer doors and drive down the road to the next drop. There's a lot of difference.
So I kind of set you up for that. Because you do some other hauling. You know what it's like to haul, you know, general freight, regular freight, flatbed, dump, end dump, you know, close the doors and go. So the setup to that for me is it's like it doesn't even help that they come from the trucking industry. It's so foreign to the fact of what a shed hauler has to be. And the first thing is he has to be polite. But here's what I'm going to add and piggyback onto that is he has multiple customers that he's working with. He's working with the customer that he's delivering the shed to. He's working with the sales guy that sold that shed. He's working with the manufacturer that built that shed. And unless he's an independent, which he could be, he's working for a boss that he has to keep happy. You can, and then there's RTO company. You can pretty soon have 4 or 5 different people that can frustrate this guy every day. And that's one point outside of the fact he has to have a can-do attitude, or half of them would never get put in. We got to figure out how to do it. That's not good for truck drivers. Truck drivers want to shut the doors and go down the road. You're exactly right. I agree. You have to be equipment minded, because the way these trailers work, if you have a really nice trailer and if you have a mule or whatever else you're running, you got to be able to set a building to where it looks good. You have to be able to, you know, I know guys, you know, that set buildings on pads and they don't even carry a level. I couldn't do that myself. I love those dudes. They're my buddies, but I couldn't do that. I can tell, you know, I grew up building houses, you know, and driving trucks. So it's like, I know I got a pretty good feel of both of those, but I cannot stand if I pull up, or if I'm driving down the road and I see a shed sitting over there, it's on a nice gravel pad, it ain't level. You know, I'm like, come on, you know, push some gravel under one side, put a block under, do something, you know. I guess that's one reason why I still actually appreciate blocking sheds, is because most times at least they're level, until you get a customer that says, oh, I don't like it that way, put it back down, you know, and you leave the thing out of level. But it's a unique, I don't feel like I'm throwing rocks at sales guys and builders and all the other pieces of our puzzle when I say that you can take somebody that builds houses and they can build sheds. You can take somebody that builds barns and they can build sheds. You can take somebody that sells cars and you can teach them how to sell sheds. All of those, you follow what I'm saying? You can kind of interact them fairly well. There's, you know, it's like those videos that Matt Black keeps making for us. And then God made a shed hauler, you know, like old Paul Harvey says. There's just nothing, there's nothing quite like it.
Yeah, I've always said it takes a special breed, and it just to be honest with you, I've been blessed with some very good drivers. I've been blessed with some very good ones, and get ready to look for another shed hauler. If one of them quits or whatever, it's like you know, quits and goes on to something else. It just kind of it kind of worries me. I mean, where am I going to find somebody that can actually haul a shed? You know, I mean, it takes a special breed. That it is for sure.
Yeah, you know, we see a lot of them come and go. You don't really think about it until all of a sudden you're like, well, where'd that guy go? I haven't seen him in a while, you know. And here's the funny thing. The guys that are really good at it and actually do it, they can't seem to stay away either. They'll go do something else for a while and then they'll come back. And then they'll go do something else for a while. You know, we're not going to say any names like Josh Stovers or Laverne Beachies or those guys. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, I had an interesting conversation at lunch yesterday when I asked one of the guys that I feel like is one of the most brilliant minds when it comes to finance industry stuff, not even in sheds necessarily. I mean, he is in sheds, but even outside of sheds. And I asked him, I said, Richard, I said, if you had all the money in the world at your disposal to do a business with, would you still stay in sheds? And he was like, yeah, I would, because that's where my heart is. And he says, and I love this industry. Everything about it. He says, I would have things I would do different, but I would want to help the shed industry. And I can identify with that. Can you identify with that? Or are you like, man, if I get the first chance, I'm going to real estate?
No, I totally agree with you as you was talking there. So I started back in 2006, and I had done a little bit of construction right out of school, and then I got right into shed hauling, fairly young, which a lot of the guys do, it seems like, early 20s, And anyway, I just got into it, and it's something that runs in your blood. I mean, I think you can see that whenever seems like these guys that quit for a while and go do something else, they always want to come back to shed hauling. But I do believe it is, it's either you like it or you don't like it. I do believe there is some guys that just cannot get into shed hauling. Whether it's, just the wear and tear of it, I'm not sure what it is, but there is some that don't like it. And I think you have to like it, enjoy it to be able to do it all long term, I think. So, but I keep laughing now. I say that's all I know how to do anymore. So I guess we'll just keep doing it.
I'm with you all the way. It's there's times I'm pretty involved in my local community. I have a lot of business associate guys, around that do other stuff. I'm sure you do too, because I just know who you are. And I know that community, and it's like, oh, I could go do a lumber yard. Oh, I could go back to building houses. I could flip houses. I could open a coffee shop. I could do an ice cream shop and all this stuff and I don't know, maybe I'll do a coffee shop and an ice cream shop, but it's like my heart is still in those dumb little buildings that we keep putting in people's backyards. That's where it's at. And there is so much you can do. Richard talks about that on his episode. Go back and listen to the episode. It's actually a 2-parter that I did with Richard Mashburn, and Shannon actually did it, but it's on my episodes because I was in there with him. I think it is. Maybe it's on the Wednesday ones. I'm not sure. But find the ones with Richard Mashburn where he talks about what the shed industry can do for a community. It's incredible. There's that thing floating around right now. I don't know if you've seen this on Facebook, where is the big fancy jet sitting there, and the guy comes up and he says, think about how many people you could have fed with the money that you spent on this plane.
Yep, I seen that.
And his answer is fed all the guys that did the electronics for it, fed all the guys that built the motors for it, fed all the guys that actually designed the plane, fed all the guys that fly it, build it, and all the other. That is what's behind the shed industry. We have a plant that builds a shed, and that plant supports its local people. We have sales guys, we have people in the office, we have RTO companies, we have haulers. It's a community thing. And what Richard was getting at was you can take somebody off the street and you can teach them how to do any part of this business if they have the willingness and the know-how. You can teach them if they're willing to be taught. I've taught guys how to haul sheds that didn't know nothing about driving trucks or hauling sheds. It's like you said, some of them are really good at it, some of them are really bad at it, but somewhere in the shed industry, you can fit somebody in. You could support a whole community off of putting a shed in somebody's backyard. That's incredible that we have the ability to do that.
There's a lot of people involved till that shed lands in your backyard, right?
Yeah, there is. There's a bunch of people involved. So I think that's cool. Love what you're doing up there.
Introducing the Challenger, the revolutionary new shed mover that's taking the industry by storm. The Challenger features a touchless design, ensuring it only makes contact at the end of the skids and the bottom of the floor joists, so rest easy knowing your gable walls will remain pristine. Worried about reliability? Fear not, the Challenger is always up for the challenge and will not overturn or scuff your shed. Harness the power of innovative wireless technology. Remotely control the Challenger via your smartphone. No cell service needed. And guess what? The cell phone remote comes standard with every Challenger at no extra cost. Featuring floating forks, a 4-directional tilting mast, and sliding weight transfer, move the shed weight precisely where you need it to get ultimate traction. With self-loading capability, straight onto your truck, say goodbye to the need for a hydraulic carriage. The Challenger makes your job easy and more efficient. Choose from 2 machine sizes, 10,000 pounds and 15,000 pounds. Perfect for any job. Visit us at the Shed Expo in Michigan this September. Find us at booth 552. Don't miss out. Visit www.shedchallenger.com or email us at info@shedchallenger.com or call or text 828-220-3508 for more information. Experience the future of shed moving with the Challenger.
Man, we killed an hour almost in no time flat, and I didn't even find out who you are and all the other stuff I was threatening you with. Tell me just a little bit about Cliff as a person. Like, where did you come from? Are you married? Do you have kids? Come from a big family? What's the backstory on Cliff?
Okay. Well, yeah, I grew up right here in Davis County. Grew up right here in Davis County. Mom and Dad, they was Mennonite. Grew up Mennonite. They originally would have came from the Amish longer back, but by the time I was born, it was Mennonite. And then, so yeah, I've been basically Mennonite all my life. I went to church with a girl who lived 5 miles down the road and got married to her, Mary Knepp. And so now we've got 4 beautiful children. We got 2 boys, 2 girls. And the boys, got one now that's 14 years old. So he's been helping me some in the shed industry. He likes to go along and help set up sheds. He likes more of the technology side of it, like the younger generation seem to be.
Yeah.
He likes the technology side, maybe more than the haul and block side, but I think we can get it worked out of him sometime when he gets grew up a little bit, hopefully. So, but
That's
yeah,
good.
other than that, it's been a good life. Just been here all my life, pretty much. So,
Yeah, that's cool. Compared to a guy like me who's moved everywhere. I moved everywhere as a kid. Once I got married, I settled down. Spent quite a bit of time in Georgia, and now I've been here a lot longer than I was in Georgia, which just kind of blows my mind some days. I can't believe how long I've been here at this spot, Almost feel like I've got roots down.
yeah.
Which is what basically you guys all do up there. I love that community. I love the tight knit of it. I've got some really good friends there. Love my step family up there. Don't get to see them near enough. Wish I could see them more. But
I was just freaked out. The first barbecue we had, I think, is when you informed me that you have a step family here, and I was just freaked out that my sister was married to one of your stepbrothers. So that's what's cool about it. So,
yeah, that's awesome, isn't it?
That's awesome. Pretty cool, yeah.
And that all goes back to technology. Goes back to the fact that we have social media, we have Facebook that draws us all together. I like to say we're at a point now that we could actually do without Facebook. We'd still get together and have our events, and we'd all hang out together. It's great to have what we have. Maybe your son will be the guy that comes up with the drone delivery if he likes technology. He'll figure out how to put a drone on 4 corners, pick that sucker up, and set it right in there.
Yeah.
Then we can put them on top of a mountain. So, this is your time. Anything you want to get out to the public that you want to share? Any questions you have for any of us geeks? What have you got?
Well, hopefully you guys can join us at the upcoming barbecue that we're getting ready to have. Hopefully, I guess Shannon's going to be there. Is that right?
Oh yeah, I think so. That's the plan.
So
we're going to try to drag Susan up there kicking and screaming. We'll see how that goes.
That sounds good. Yeah. So no, I mean, pretty much. Yeah. Hopefully we can get a lot of people here. I'll just go over some of the events here. I'm looking at the flyer right here, which that's on Facebook as well. But yeah, we're going to bring the whole family. Got some for everyone. Got bouncy house for the kids. Going to have some ladies door prizes. Going to give away over $4,000 worth of door prizes is the plan. So we've got a lot of door prizes coming up. So a lot of shopping to do in the next few weeks here. And we are going to have breakfast on Saturday morning. We'll have breakfast from 8 a.m. to 10:30, and then we're going to have some coffee and donuts available all day. We also are going to do a burger and hot dog meal on Friday night. So if you guys come in on Friday night, anybody wants to come in, you can park your truck. We'll have the place rented already on Friday. So you can come in and park your truck, eat some burgers and hot dogs, and just hang out. We're going to have a hangout Friday night. So
that'll be great.
Yeah.
What time are the competitions?
We're going to open the gates about 8:00 in the morning, and then the competitions, let's see, around 9:30, I think, is when we're going to start competition. 9:30, 9:45, according to how it goes. Right. So I have some opening remarks, but yeah, somewhere in that. And then the banquet, what we normally do is we have the competitions, just run them all the way through, and then the banquet is about 2 p.m. So make sure you eat some breakfast a little later on, maybe, and that way you can hold over till 2 p.m. Then we'll have the big banquet, and then we are going to have a parade at dusk. And that's one thing. One thing last year, we had a lot of people go home, and I understand they want to be home for Sunday. You know, it gets late. It gets late so fast whenever they hang around like that. But we encourage you, hang around for the parade. It's a lot of fun. We take about probably about an 8-mile trip, I'd say, through the community, and we've done it so often now the community word gets out, and there's guys sitting along the streets and waiting on us. I mean, it's amazing how many people sit in lawn chairs. We just drive right through the Amish community, so it's a lot of fun to hear the horns, see the lights. So
yeah, that's great. I do love the fact that you do a parade, even if you lose. I know a lot of people, they do go home. I feel like every year it's getting a little better. Like some of us are starting to be like, no, we don't want to miss the parade now, so we're hanging around a little bit longer. I think that'll help you. It's always good if your community gets involved in it to help with it.
That's right.
Just in case we missed it or somebody doesn't know, how do I find you on Facebook? What's the name of the Facebook page?
You mean on the Shed Haulers Barbecue?
Yeah.
So we actually do not have an actual page for the barbecue. I've just been
an event.
Just an event, yeah. So I've just been posting under my name. So just look up Cliff Knepp on Shed Haulers, and you will see all the posts that I make there. So
okay. And if you can't find Cliff Knepp, look for me. I'll try to make sure I get it shared a couple times too. I normally try to get it in there.
We'll try to share it multiple times. That way there's plenty. It's out there quite often,
Yeah.
Now we do have one thing I did forget to mention. We do have a sign up link on the post that you can click on, and it says this is hosted by Knepp Trucking. Make sure and sign your name, get signed up for that, and that's the registration for the banquet. And that's more or less just to see how many people, because we have no idea if it's going to be, how many people it's going to be. Yeah. We got to have an idea on the food. So the catering lady wants to know that. So
yeah, and coming from somebody who does big events, it's good to know an idea on food.
It sure is.
Oh my word, that could be a headache.
Yeah. I don't even know how you guys keep track of all that stuff there at the bash. That'd be a lot of stuff to make sure you get the number all right.
Technology, man.
I guess.
Technology and a really, really good cook.
Yeah.
Jonathan, man, he's awesome. He takes care of us.
He does. He does.
So that makes our job a lot easier.
He loves every minute of it too, don't he?
Yeah. And also, I talked to Shannon about this the other day, and we keep forgetting to get our plugs in for this. You can also look up, like Shannon will put it in the notes on the email, what your event is. So we can put the link in there into the email that when the podcast comes out, but also the newsletter that Shed Geek does also has the info in there. So make sure that, when you look up Shed Geek and anything Shed Geek related, that you follow up on the written side of it, I guess, because there's a lot more information in there than you realize sometimes. Even if we get it wrong sometimes, at least it's still in there. Well, hey, man, I know you're on a schedule. I know you want to skip out of town and go have some fun, and I don't blame you in the least. Just much appreciate you taking the time to come on here. I told you an hour would go fast. It doesn't take long at all. It's a lot of fun to do. Anybody out there that's hesitating or thinking about doing a podcast, give them a word. Tell them how easy it is.
Okay, we can try that.
Yeah, it's not that hard. It's fun to do. everybody has a story. We all need to hear it. And like we always said, education through entertainment gets us all a little further down the road. I had a guy ask me today. He's like, I don't understand what people even listen to it. It's like you're all preaching to the choir, and I'm like, yeah, well, the choir wants more information, and it works out great. We're excited about listening to each other.
Well, I do. I will agree that the Shit Haulers Facebook page and podcast, it is amazing how much information that people have, that I have gotten and people have gotten off of that, just different things. You can go on there, ask questions. I know a lot of the questions sometimes get asked more than once, but you find a lot of info on there. So Facebook, Shit Haulers Facebook page has been a big help in my industry. That's for sure.
Yes, it is. It's a great place. We have our moments just like any big family, but we normally figure out how to get through them, and we work on down the road.
That is another thing, right?
Yeah. So Cliff, thank you very much. Cliff Knepp Trucking, Midwest. Is it Midwest Barbecue?
It's called the Midwest Shit Haulers Barbecue. Yeah.
Yeah. Midwest Shit Haulers Barbecue. September 14th. You don't want to miss it. Thank you guys so much for being on with us today, for spending time with us and listening to us. And like I said, if you want to get the word out, get your story out there, reach out to any of us at Shed Geek, and we'll be happy to hook you up. Thank you guys, and have a great day.
Good having you, Sam. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Hey, this is Mo Lunsford in sunny Union Grove, North Carolina, and we want to say thank you to all the guests and listeners.